Hello, everybody. Welcome to Breaking the Silence, a podcast by Quest Pro Women Foundation. This is a Pan-African podcast dedicated to illuminating the pressing issue of sexual gender-based violence and amplifying the voices of sexual and gender-diverse individuals. My name is Samantha, your host, and together we'll explore the complex landscape of sexual gender-based violence across Africa, delve into the intersectionality of these experiences, and foster meaningful dialogue towards empowerment and change. Join us as we break the silence and champion the rights and dignity of all. Let's get started. So welcome to another episode of Breaking the Silence, and this particular episode is called Why Do We Hate Women? And this question is for really the African continent because the information that's been coming through has been very, the cases of femicide. And femicide, for those who don't know, is the killing of female people, I guess. I guess it's in the name. Anything that ends with side is death. Yeah, so why are so many African women falling victim to extreme violence simply because of their gender? So in this conversation, we're going to explore the cultural, social, and systemic factors that contribute to this alarming reality, shedding light into a deep-rooted misogyny that leads to the murder of women across the continent. It's a heavy conversation, so I hope we can find a way to make it a bit light. We're understanding why, as a continent, we have decided we hate women. I'd like to introduce my panelists, and so just tell us your name, and in another life, if you were not the person that you are now, what would you be?
Hi everyone, I am Pumba. In another life, I would be an electronic guitarist.
But you would say Timon. In another life, you'd be Timon.
Good evening, thank you for having me. My name is Wani. In another life, I would love to be a lawyer.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bazine Vivian. In another life, I would be a choreographer and a DJ.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Angel. In another life, I'd be a doctor and a celebrity. So a celebrity doctor? Or a celebrity, anything to do with fame.
Hello, Jumbo. My name is Androgynous Alpha. My pronouns are they, them. In another life, I'll be God.
Come through. Oh, God. Well, in another life, I think I'd be a stripper. Yeah. Though I think I'm doing just fine stripping now. So, anywho, today's conversation, why do we hate women? Pick up a newspaper any given day from any country in Africa, found in septic tank, found they done this 15 years, like, why does Africa hate women? What's going on, guys? And I'd really love to hear the context from the different countries that we have represented here, the situation. Remember Kenya had, actually I think let's start with Kenya because you even had a match recently,
Yeah.
and Femicide KE.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. What's going? What's up? Why does Kenya hate women?
I think it's because of the normalized violence and also the culture where like men think like beating a woman is a form of power, and also the economic injustice where now the women now maybe you have been left at home and this man is the provider, so for him he feels like the only thing you can do is give birth and submit to him. So there's a lot of cases, and when you see it's from different areas in Kenya where you find like men are also killing their women for being successful. So we are like, is it now economic injustice, or now is it you're being jealous of your own wife? But for me, I think it's rooted more into the normalization of violence in our culture, like the way the men are brought up. So they think for them, it's okay to beat women. So even when you're seated with men and then you start having the conversation, 5 of the men, they'll say, I think, and my dad told me that for me to have power, I have to beat or even hurt women. So for me, it's like, what's happening, yo?
And Kenyan men love killing women so much that you're crossing over to kill women in Uganda as well. The woman, Rebecca Cheptegei, was killed by a Kenyan man. You guys are subcontracting.
And the way they are killing them in a bad way. So you're like, you can't blame it on mental health.
Killing. You want them to kill them with kindness. Ori, please tell us about the situation in Nigeria. How is that? Like, and
Yeah, I would love to look at the aspect of culture, because when we want to talk about culture, that is where everything starts. Because in my culture, people do really believe that a man is the domineering factor, that you cannot even say a word without a man giving you the go ahead to say a word. So this has actually brought hate, because right now women are standing up and speaking up for themselves, and it's bringing a lot of problems that you are not supposed to have a voice here, because we the men, we dominate, we rule. So at some point women are, no, it cannot be so. So sometimes men can actually put up any pattern and strategy to get rid of you. So, but right now, I like what is happening, because majority of women now, they want to stand, they want to speak, they want their voices to be heard. We advocate for change, especially in the rural areas where you see a girl before the age of 5 is being betrothed to a man, and you must marry, you must not argue. It's a norm. It's like that. It's a culture. So that's what we are actually rooting and fighting for change. That's what's happening right now.
Pumba, what's happening? Why do men hate women?
For me, I think it's culture, patriarchal, the system, and also I think it's kind of rooted in colonization and slavery. The whole thing of women first. First of all, I do not like it when people do that to me. Anyone tells me women first, because of its historic background. When the slaves were being shipped and things got hard, it was the women that would throw off the boats first. Yes, that's where the women first comes from.
This whole time I thought it's because they want you to go in front of them and they see your ass as you're walking on.
No, yeah, it was killing our grandmothers and our ancestors. So there is that, and then the systems they have created that are very patriarchal, and that also goes into this whole thing of how the laws were written by men for men, and the men who only have power, they favor them. Yeah, it's always when you go to report certain cases, especially if you're a woman, it's always dehumanizing first. What were you putting on? Why were you out late at night? Yeah, but why were the men killing us? What does my dress code have to do with what has happened to me? Yeah. Also, the culture bit. Was it like 2 weeks ago where a son murdered the mom because she had made nuts and something like that?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, the mom had cooked food that he didn't want to eat. So he beat his own mother to death. I don't know if you saw that story in one of the northern districts in Uganda. So
they changed their way, because they were saying a way to a man's heart is the stomach. They blocked that one.
that one also no longer works.
Because
It's the spice of life.
Yeah.
now they're killing you even for going through that way.
Yes. And also that comes down to like the economic justice that Alpha was talking about. Yeah. Here you are, you've heard of stories where a sentence akameza that they have left, yeah, is 5,000, but the man expects you to cook chicken, fish, and all these other things on that 5,000. He comes back home and you hear, oh, he beat her to death because she
cooked mukene.
because she cooked mukene.
Bazine, why do we hate women?
First of all, I don't know why everyone hates women, because men hate women, women hate women. but let's talk about why men hate women. So for me, the story that was very amazing for me that I had of a femicide, it was a very old couple. I think it was like they were like in their 80s or 90s, and it was the guy killed the woman, and his reason was yaganyo kumpako.
It was in Baraba.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that age.
Yeah.
Do you see? Like, it's a serious problem. Because I'm very sure at that age, like, biologically, even her pussy is dry. So, like, what are we trying to do here exactly? So, anyway, so I feel like, obviously, most of the issues that we have in the world right now, if it's not slavery, it's patriarchy. And I think that there's a certain entitlement that like men have over women, and an envy that comes from, especially now, like if we're talking about the Cheptegei issue, it's an envy, but the envy is really rooted in going back to like just a fragile ego. I'm sure that he has been trying his best. Okay, maybe he hasn't, but he has been trying his best. And then she has been trying her best. But now she is being praised. And I guess like that for him, that it feels like he's shrinking further and further and further. And I feel like sometimes this it's coming from a very like from way, way, way back. Like if you've listened to a lot of reasons why long-term couples break up are usually like very very small things, and it's because they keep they keep they keep holding on to small things, that eventually build, and then it's just like, wait, what why did that happen? And you don't understand it, but it's because he has been keeping this for a while, like a really long while. So I feel like it's envy, especially in situations where I saw a post where it was, I think, like last week in one day, and like there were just like headlines of different situations, same as Cheptegei, like femicides, but just in situations where like there were like prominent women, strong women that had been killed by their partners. And so I feel like it's just them trying. I think for them in their heads, I think they feel like, and also it's just a thin line between gender-based violence and because I feel like most times it's that like the violence has been there in the relationship, and people take it really lightly. I feel like especially the people in the relationship, I think they reach a point and they just normalize it. I feel like there's always you keep extending your boundary. Like you start from me. If a man ever touches me, and then you push it. Yes, and then you push it, and then when it happens, you push it. No, this is the last time I'm going to touch, and then you push it, and then with time it becomes normal, and it's a like you're fighting, and you're gonna get bruises. You come back from it, but then the next time you want, they're gonna push you, and it's gone. Like you're going to get like brain hemorrhage, and you're gone just like that. So I think there's a thin line between gender-based violence and femicides. And so, like, in trying to solve the problem, we should start from that side, like looking at the problem from the gender-based violence thing. But I think that it's deeply rooted in just like patriarchy and men's fragile egos. Yeah.
So for what I'm just saying, men turned into these women we used to see in Nigerian movies where when your friend does what was that movie? Where was it Blood Sisters? Where one of the sisters was jealous of the other, and then
Just blood sisters.
so they turned into those people that we've been seeing in Nigerian movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like it's just a way for men to take back their power. I feel like I'm still the man. Like, yes, you're still like winning in life, but I'm still the man. Like, remember that. Don't forget. I'm still the man. So, yeah.
I like how you structured the question. Why we hate women. You didn't say why men hate women. So that means we also contributors to that hate. When you look at most of the incidents that have happened, the femicide incidents, you've seen comments from different women, and they're really, really so disturbing. Most of the times they blame the victim. I saw, in the Rebecca case, I saw a Twitter post. And this guy was saying, do you know what Rebecca was doing to the guy. Did you see that Twitter post?
Yes, that guy is called King Arthur. Please go abuse him on X.
And then some women got the guts of also supporting that Twitter post on TikTok because it was reposted on TikTok. And some women were like, that's why men kill you. Why behaving like that? Why doing this? Yes. And it's so disturbing. So women are also contributors to this kind of abuse. And also economic inequalities, as they have said. Like women become so dependent on their male counterparts or whatever gender, and they find themselves in vulnerable positions whereby they cannot get out of it. So they endure the abuse. You know, femicide most of the times doesn't start, like it doesn't happen in a day. It has been constant abuse, and maybe this person has been enduring the abuse for different reasons, for children, for the community, maybe to keep the family and respect and stuff like that. And boom, this person is killed. But it has been constant abuse. And as a society, we've not helped. The systems are not helping these victims enough, yeah? Because maybe when a victim goes to report such cases, they'll always push them back to the same abusive situations. And, there's a saying that if you're to break a society, break a woman, because women are the backbone of society. They're the co-creators. And in most areas where there is instability, the women will always be used as a tool of communication of some grievances. I think they think that killing women really communicates more of their agenda than killing other genders. To me, that's what I think. So that has put women in very vulnerable positions, mostly in areas of instability. And when we talk about instability, we're talking about political instability. You've seen what happened when we were having the political chaos and stuff like that, how women were killed and thrown somewhere. Did you hear the Entebbe cases? Someone was trying to communicate something, maybe to the government or what, but they were using women. And because they killed women, it got the attention they wanted.
Why I struggle with that narrative is because for a woman to matter, she has to belong to somebody. They think that system works because women, according to them, do not belong to themselves. So they say when you're touching women, you're touching someone's wife, someone's daughter,
Sure.
someone's what. So now, what about the fact that she's a woman? Those of us who lost our people in the genocide, what? Now, me, I'm someone's nothing. No mother, no
See,
cow,
they'll
no goat.
they'll always ask, they will always want to associate a woman to a masculine or a male person. And even, I'll give an example of Sheba. Sheba is very successful. But every time they're interviewing her, they're always asking, where is your man? How can you build such a house? How can a woman like you build such a house? Like, I mean, they have to associate, and that has kept many women in abusive situations just because they want to associate with a man to feel respected in society, to feel seen.
I love how the conversation is going so far. I think we forgot to put like a trigger warning on this particular episode because the topics are a bit gruesome. There's something that somebody was saying about how then some woman sadly said, I think we shall rest when we die. And then somebody made up an article about how girls in Palestine are buried in cages because men uncover the dead bodies and rape them. So I guess even in there, there's no rest. It's a whole thing that it continues.
I think we need to also acknowledge the region and the role it plays. Because tell me why, when I was growing up as a kid, I'm being told the man is the head and the woman is the neck. The conversation starts there. And if we need like to talk about the root of everything, we need to start with the region, like You cannot teach us when we are young that a woman should be submissive from the when I'm young. You can imagine now this man is full grown, then still thinks a woman should submit. So for him, he feels it's okay to kill this person because he has power. Yes, and it's rooted in the education. I think as long as we change the religion, the education from the young age, that's when we're going to do it. But still, I don't know. And also the other thing, they were talking about the system. The reporting system of the femicide is also failing us. What happens this man once he's arrested? The story is like just goes in like this. The man is back again on the streets. So what about these? The
They're
systems.
releasing men who kill women in Kenya.
Come on, everyone knows. Just like a one man, the person is just there. The other man is back on the street. That's why we keep on marching every time. Like, stop killing us, stop killing us.
Okay.
So, to add on Angel's and Alpha's submissions, there is this thing about gender roles, and also we need to acknowledge that abuse, it either radicalizes you or it turns you into an enabler. So that's why you see some of us, we are here talking about femicide, and then there are those women out there that are like, yeah, that's why she was killed. Why was she doing that? Because they probably also suffered a certain kind of abuse that made them that way. Yeah. So these gender roles, why are the women the ones supposed to be cooking all the time? Yeah. Because why are they killing us? Because we are
Of
not
ground nuts.
of ground nuts, of food. Yeah. There was another story where a woman was too sick to cook and the husband killed her because she couldn't cook.
And then a pick me will come and say, but in his defense, she was too sick, so he didn't even make it do much. Maybe he just
Yeah.
like
He
shook her a
provi-
bit and then shook her to death.
No, but also he was providing everything for her. Why didn't she cook? Yeah?
We're going to. Alpha raises an important point about the systems and how are the cultural or legal system in the different countries, and I would love to hear the context. Propagating, how are they fueling femicide in your different countries? And I think I'll start with Nigeria. So, Wari, please go.
Yeah, when you talk of the killings, like one of us said, yeah, we look at it as the places that look at it as honor killing, that you deserve to die because, yeah, they call it honor killing, and the society won't blame you. They will come to talk of impunity. The legal factor does not even come in because at the end of the day, you see the man walking majestically, and women are actually in support because they will now tell you, you know the rules, and why didn't you adhere to what you were told? Nobody speaks for you. Nobody is there to fight for you. So it's like a traditional, or should I say a religious norm that's been set aside that nothing can be done concerning that. So, like in the context where a woman was married and the husband died, she later remarried and had a daughter of 5 years, and she took the daughter to the husband's house just to discover that the man has been sleeping with the child. And nothing was done about it. He was arrested. The next day, he came back majestically and was bragging. And at some point, he came to discover that the woman actually knew that the man was sleeping with the child, but he told her not to say a word. But she couldn't keep it. The neighbor noticed. That's how they got to arrest the man. But nothing has been done. So tell me how that child now, what will happen to her? How she might turn out being very abusive to the next person because she would think that's a norm, that's the way of life, because nothing was done in that case.
Systems, how is religion, culture, and law, how are they accomplices? How are they enabling femicide?
Um, I I think culture is so deeply rooted in patriarchy, so I'm not going to go back because it will sound like I'm repeating myself. But maybe let me see, the the correctional systems, like let's say the police, has to be a little bit more, I guess, like more strict, because my mom works in the police force, and so she told me about a story where a lady, not a lady, a girl was raped, like I think like a 16-year-old. She was raped. The person that raped them was detained, but I think they, so she comes back home, and then when she goes back tomorrow, the person is not there. When she tries to find out, they paid. They just paid, like they paid off like a bail, but with no rating, so it wasn't really bail. And now the person was nowhere to be found. So it's so much, starting like from culture, the police, also the legislators, and also the media. In how they report, I feel like they should emphasize that it's like they should emphasize the brutality of everything, the femicide, to like make it more visual, more graphic, to like to just emphasize like the gravity of everything. Because I feel like most times, like for the longest time, they like femicide is like a new term. I feel like it has just been like recently like heard of, and I feel like before they just used to put it under the umbrella of homicide. And if you just put it under homicide, I feel like it won't draw attention to that as an issue, to like this is the issue we need to deal with. Yes, there is homicide, but this is a whole other thing that we need to attack. So yeah, I think also the media has like a big role to play, and it shouldn't just be very gender neutral in reporting those cases. Yeah.
Me, I think the society has failed us. You see, when the campaigning or the campaigning against the the gay community, they always put family as one of the reasons as to why. But we've been having families for the last decades, right? And how what families have produced for us are half-baked men who are killing women. So I
So
feel
a
like
full baked man would do a kill like a whole family.
no, I mean so morally, morally and upright, if I may say. Uh, so the reason being protecting family, for me, I feel like it should no longer be a reason, right, to deny the rights, because having them and not having them, it has always it has been the same. It has not given us any good. Also, the government has failed us. May I feel like as much as they protect children in whatever law is formulated, I feel like we need gender responsive policies. Like, for example, if a law is made, instead of policing women's bodies, I think we should be making laws that actually protect women. For example, if we are coming up with a policy, let it be gender sensitive, right? Instead of generalizing women, let us make laws that actually address the challenges of women, because women have a different anatomy from the male, the other genders. So yeah, I think the justice system should look into gender responsive policies.
Before Alpha says, there's a thing you said about how men are fixing family by killing women. Is that mathematics? Like eliminate the problem? Are we? Are women? Aren't we supposed to be homemakers? So if you're killing the homemaker, then what happens to the home?
No, what I was saying is the nurturing.
Yes, I hear you. I'm just saying it's such an oxymoron the way that the thing is being handled. It doesn't make any sense.
I think in Kenya we are doing the marches because of we are trying to draw attention to the government to intervene, because their silence is also killing us. It's also causing more of the cases of the femicide. So for us, is them increasing funding to the organization working with the women, Because in Kenya we have like Usikimie, where like they get a lot of cases, but it's just one organization. So I think if the government can also increase the funding for the women rights organization, and also like make a statement about the killings of the women in Kenya. Yeah.
So yes. So um, my question would be, what can we do? It feels very helpless. We push the hashtags, but it's not doing the thing. We do the Black Monday thing. We don't feel like it's doing the thing. I'm tired. Honestly, I'm not pushing another hashtag. I'm not doing that thing. I'm tired of the statistics. What can we do as activists? Like what? Somebody should start like a vigilante group and we sign up. Me, I'll sharpen pangas. But like, what do we do? What's the thing? Kill a man on site? What? What are we doing?
So I've just remembered a very, very sad story. So I work in the hospital. I think like it was like an 8-year-old girl was brought by the mother. She the baby had pus coming out of like her vagina and also her anus, and also had like signs of like first entry. But most times, if there is pus, it really means like there has been an ongoing infection that has not been treated and now it's getting worse. But like the mom was saying, me, I don't know what happened to that child. And I don't know if, because sometimes you can have an idea, but you can't even imagine that maybe like like the father of this child is the one that could be doing this. Because the story was that the father had gotten an accident and so had been home, like like just couldn't work. Yeah, like had been for a couple of months, and then obviously I am concerned the whole day. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? I try to call my colleagues, like maybe I'm rushing to, like I'm jumping to conclusions, maybe what do you think? I just call them like, examine the girl, see what you think. Examine, and they were all like, it's really not looking good, yeah. And so I go to my senior, like the consultant, a very sweet man, by the way, and I ask him like, what are we supposed to do, like, because it like clearly, if like what do we do? And then he said, there is nothing we can do. We can treat, but we can't make allegations. If the mother of the child is not saying anything, that's how we go with it. And I was just like, is that all? Like, is that all we have to do? He was like, yeah, that's what it's like. You can't make allegations if the mom hasn't said anything. And even if you try to suggest it to her, if for her she's not thinking it, like this child has to be taken care of by that person, and like that's what it is. So, yeah, so we were stuck, and all we had to do was treat and act like that didn't happen. But I would have loved for there to have been like another solution, for it to not only have been us to have to deal with it. Because if my senior tells me that, then like me, I can't now go and say, me, I think my son. Like that's, I also just shut up. Yeah, and actually also had like another baby that they brought at night, also had signs of first entry. But they were like, so I advised them, I'm like, fill in this form and like let's like maybe like check the baby and whoever you think did it. And they were like, you see, Obama Wanawachi, like they were like cousins, and they were like, how is it going to look? Let's just go back and talk to him. Yeah. And I've noticed that like in African cultures, they are very quiet when it comes to like I feel like situations like that, like let's say there's always that weird cousin that is getting girls on the kuchalo, pregnant, just doing random stuff. They will not talk about it in the meetings. What they will talk about in the meetings is the lesbian. How dare you, Ashemas, And so I feel like we need to, like even okay, as activists, I feel like we need to also maybe go down to like those people where like we know like culture is so like entrenched in them, like culture beliefs. And I'm not saying all culture beliefs are like dangerous, but some are. and actually like bring the conversation from like uptown to actually downtown, and like get away to formulate our, I don't know, like message in a way that can be assimilated by them. Because I think sometimes when you just go and you're just like, no, say no to this, it's just, it will maybe come off the wrong way. So yeah, I think like we need to do our activism looking at all like societies, starting from the ones like that are down there, not just the ones that have access to like the podcast or the TVs. Yeah. And then also have in place in the hospitals where like maybe they might come first, have a place where like it's there's also like a legal part that you can take without consent of the person, because then it makes it hard. Sometimes they never want to go that way. But they should give us as medical people like the freedom to be able to, especially if it involves a minor, okay. Because a minor has no say. They are a minor, yeah. So whatever like has to be done for them is by whoever has brought them, like whoever is their parent or whatever. So I think there should be also structures in the hospitals or like those first line places they go to check for help, where they give us the power to help, to step in. Yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense because a therapist is obligated to tell police if you share things about wanting to kill yourself. In like, they're obligated to tell the police.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that a doctor is not obligated to tell the police if an 8-month-old baby comes with guys? What laws are these? I can't even be trying to kill myself for the plot, and I'm joking, and then we find when people are like, what?
Yeah, in Uganda, the doctors are not supposed to be involved unless the family consents.
Anyway, the question was, what can we do? Worry.
Yeah, I want to respond to what you just said. Like in Nigeria, where I work with FSW communities, we have cases that people do report about SGBV, and we look into the cases. We involve the barristers because we have community barristers, the KPs that understand our community very well. And at the end of the day, the victim will now tell you, please, I don't want to report the case to the police. I don't want him to be arrested. I don't want this to happen. And you look at the victim, enough injury and everything has happened, will now treat, and she will go back, and the victim and the perpetrator is now walking freely. So I'm asking, please, to get more ideas from us here now. In that case, what should we do?
When the victim doesn't.
Yes.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course.
I'll come
You're
back
here
to
to
that.
say all the things.
So Samantha, you said you're tired of blogging and sharing messages.
I want to feel useful. Like, I don't know.
So, for me, I feel like we should not get tired, because in the past, women were denied knowledge. Girls were not taken to school, and it was intentional because someone who is knowledgeable, someone who is empowered, can fight for themselves. So it was intentional not to take them to school. But thank God for the power of, to us who are not atheists, thank God to the power, to the power of social, to the power of social media. See, if you analyze the conversations on social media right now, I'm seeing a shift on how people are reacting to some situations. If you analyze the Ugandan community, the population back then, and how they used to jump on things and just say things arrogantly, Twitter has done something. I'm telling you. You see, minds have shifted. Can you imagine a queer couple can be on TikTok and they're lovey-doveying, and there are people in the comment section actually protecting them? They're like, is it your life? Let them enjoy. How does it concern you? I feel like there is a shift. And also, women have become more engaged because of social media. Women have become more engaged in these conversations. Because long time then, these boardrooms would be filled with men.
Can I contradict you for a minute? Okay, like I'm a social media person. I love all my work is online. That's where I do my work. But just to play devil's advocate for a second, I feel like we had stronger activism before we were very noisy on social media. Who remembers the women's walk? I was like, what, 18, 17? I participated in that walk. But now, they killed Cheptegei and what not, we had a press conference.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then like we shall just like
Yeah,
post
because
on
the
our
world
status.
is-
Yes,
feel like
and then
we've
what
done
happened? And
something.
you know, okay, did you hear
get
like
you.
2 months ago, there was a man who was killing women in Entebbe. Did you hear about that story?
Yeah, yes.
You heard about it? The man was killing women in Entebbe because they were, he vibes you to death. He sees you talking. It might even be like your uncle, you guys. Like, speaking to another man, before you know it, you and your friend, not just you, he has to kill you and your friend who might have given you the bad advice, cheat on him. He has to kill point twos. What happened? What? Not even like a small hashtag of hashtag duo killer or something. Nothing. Like people just went around there and made real life. So like, I know the power of online communications and everything, and I hear that. But I feel like even the end femicide KE online upper ground, people say matching.
Definitely.
You
When
know what I'm trying to say? So when I know that activism is a spectrum. So everybody has something that they can do. So away from the things that we are doing already, what else can we do? Me, I'm still pro that vigilante group. No one is saying start a vigilante. Why?
so Sam, what you're saying is right?
And catch
And
course.
I agree, and I agree with you. But do you realize that social medias also help us like easily capture perpetrators?
And do what? And cancel them? Because that's what we are doing. We are cancelling people.
We are calling them out.
And then what?
And then what?
And then what? Somebody went in the Uganda Law Society group and posted, what have we decided? Are we raping or not? And like the person has not been suspended from school. Like what do you mean what have we decided? Are we raping women or not? Yes. And all we did is post a screenshot on X and then we're all like, oh my god, it should be like, oh my god, and everybody's I'm not like disputing the facts. I'm just saying, what else can we do?
I
As
think
people? Yeah.
I think we need to learn from other people, like maybe the 4B movement that started in 2019 in Korea.
They killed them.
No, the women, because of the GBV that was happening, a lot of it that was happening, women being
They refused to get
demeaned.
married.
They refused to get married, they refused to have sex, they refused to have any sort of relationship with
These
men.
Ugandan women
With
with
men.
sex.
Yeah. So it's very sad.
yeah.
It's very with men. With men. So it's very sad that we live in on a continent that has no structures, because I know one thing that is favoring this movement is the fact
Pick-me's.
not just pick-me's, the fact that they have certain levels of structures that we don't have in Africa. Yeah. So there is that, and like this year in Korea, there were about 100 schools that did not have new enrollment kindergarten kids. Like that is how strong the movement has been.
Uganda is too cold. I don't know about the situation in Korea, but yeah, it's too cold. We will not stand on business. We shall sit. I mean, it's like the weather changes.
You know?
I'll come back.
Yeah, but the thing is, how do we learn from them to, they've even started giving women incentives to get married now in Korea because of the movement.
How to get
So yeah, how do we learn from things like that and other movements? That's what I think. And also we must also not stop talking about toxic masculinity, because most of the femicides, the highest percentages are intimate femicides. Yeah, killed by an ex-lover, killed by a lover, killed by the husband.
a
You
child.
know? So
Also,
yeah.
to note, guys, toxic masculinity also affects queer couples. So, yes, please
With
do
that kind
better.
of worms. We need that.
Queers don't kill.
Do better.
So we are finishing. Yes. So parting shots. Okay. I'm very disappointed that none of my panelists thought of starting a vigilante group. I don't know. Maybe next time. But yeah, me, I'm still pro vigilante. Guys, pangas are like 5K.
No, but we can also, you've heard of,
Kenya.
there is that Kenyan thing in the, what is that, slum, where the old mamas are going for training and beating up thieves, something like that. Yeah?
Come through all
Yeah, so we could do that where we have a vigilante group where we go training and beat up these people
No, we
ourselves.
shall learn on job. We don't have the time for training.
She'll be
Shall learn on
the, she'll be the
Shall
first
we
recruit.
numbers?
Then there are Indian women who have those big canes and they cane men who try to predate on young girls. So we can do stuff like
I mean,
that.
I look
yes.
so kind. With your manage.
Oh, honey, you don't want to see the other
Oh,
side
this
of
one.
me. You don't want to see the other side of me.
Parting shots. Parting shots. What, apart from my vigilante group that none of you wants to be part of, what advice? Please don't tell women to protect themselves or anything, because we are doing everything. You guys, we even go to the bathroom in groups. Bathroom. So I feel like we are doing the most. The women I was doing something about women in Nairobi who sleep with men's shoes at the door so that killers think they're men in the house.
It's true, yeah.
Single women. Why would you kill a woman because she's single? So in your parting shots, I really hope you're not giving women advice, because we have done everything. So I don't know, advise the government, advise local leaders, advise, I don't know, but leave my women alone.
Okay.
Okay.
I think for me, I'll just say I'll keep on calling out women to come for the marches, the men who like against femicide, and also the government to increase funding for the women-led organizations who fight femicide. So we need more money to continue doing the education, all that. Yeah.
I think we should be boiling water, keeping hot water all the time. You know? I think we should continue participating and engaging in decision making. For example, in political spaces, let's vote women. Unfortunately, those who go there, I know. Unfortunately, those who go there are also infected by the disease. But anyhow, we continue participating. You never know. Sometime we should not stop advocating. Samantha, don't stop posting, please. You don't recognize the small things you do, but yeah, they're doing great impact. And for me, I step back, like they told us to step back. I always step back and I look at a shift. There is a shift, really. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Samantha,
May I stop listening to you at boiling water?
I think we need law reforms. And not like the ones to protect women, but for simple things like allowing women to use pepper spray.
No, imagine if they turned AHA into anti-rape. AFA, anti-femicide act. Yes. Imagine.
That too would work. But also if we can be allowed to use pepper spray, because now you're worried, if I use pepper spray, I am the one going to prison.
It's illegal to use pepper spray.
Yes, it is illegal to use pepper
So me
spray.
and my pangas would not serve.
Yes.
Hot water is okay.
Me and my pangas
It's not
would
even
not
a
serve.
self-defense. Like, even if you can argue that out.
Not even in
I think
self-defense.
self-defense can work. Self-defense.
But you will still go to prison for some
Yeah,
time.
definitely.
You're not supposed to use it.
Pepper spray.
Yeah.
Let me talk about the law reforms. You've just reminded me. So we had a whole act around like sexual harassment and everything, and then was it in 2015? Woman MP from.
Must have been Saropendi. It's always Saropendi. Was it Saropendi?
No, it was about Amoding who. And she wanted to talk about, she wanted to like reform, like it was already there, but she wanted to like be more specific. And I think that's what she said, like just be more specific, like don't just say this is not allowed. Say even when you do this, it's also not allowed. Because I feel like when you generalize it, it leaves people space to just do their other things. So her law reform was about marital rape. Yes, marital rape.
But it's, you know, in
2019, do you know how they refused it?
because we were speaking to Ghana
It's
and they were saying
crazy.
even blowing a kiss is not. So that's what I'm saying. The way the government is very strict on their anti-homosexuality laws.
Yes.
Can we have them also pen down those kinds of like this 70-year-old judge went and even learned the word soggy and knows, like, you learn what sexual
Because the people who make those laws are the perpetrators themselves.
Yes, exactly.
So what should we do, please? You be the one to suggest pangas. No one here has so.
My good. Your voice here in Uganda are more heard than in Nigeria, you know. And I would love to. That's when you said, "What would you love to be in your next life?" And I said, "A lawyer." I think I'll be a judge because we need more law reforms, like from our queer community. When you have people that you're wearing the shoe, you know where it hurts, than you taking your cases to report to somebody that will not understand what you are going through. You get that's where our voices starts picking up from. But when you have a case and you are taking it to a very straight person that does not really understand what you are feeling, they keep on pushing it under the carpet. So personally, I will say we as a community, as a person, we should start with ourselves on look for ways that you can guide your own community. Like that paper spray will go a long way. I support it because hot water will definitely get cold before they come. Yeah. So yes.
What up? um, Alpha, did you say what you want us to do? Yes. Okay. So we're sorry for this very triggering episode, but we could not. It's a reality of what's happening. Femicide is a reality in Africa. What is it still femicide if the body is dead? It's what, necrophilia?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Men, if you're listening to this thing, like, why is masculinity so fragile? I don't get it. Don't want to be men. It's not the flex you think it is, you guys. It's not that cool. And to kill somebody because you're threatened by them. You're not a tree, you're not planted. And women, I'm very tired of this phrase of even women. It's really hiding a lot of misogyny, a lot of... They are bad women. We've seen them. You just because you're a woman doesn't mean you don't have bad manners. You can be a woman who is a horrible human being. And so for us to downplay acts of feminism because we keep on saying even women do this, no, those are shitty individuals. And, calling them out is a thing. So let's just, girls, I want to tell you, protect yourself. You're doing the things, Bambi. You walk in groups. You go to toilet in cup. We don't do any... I don't know that... We need an island. Like, wow, Ellen, if you're out there, Ellen DeGeneres, please buy us a women island and put us there. You have the money. Thank you very much, guys. And after this episode, please, I don't know, call your therapist, maybe call your friend or somebody. Thank you so much.
Get laid.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Breaking the Silence. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to take action and advocate for the rights and safety of sexual and gender diverse individuals across Africa. Remember, change begins with awareness, empathy, and collective effort. Be sure to subscribe and tune in for our next episode where we'll continue to explore the many facets of SGBV and work together towards a future free from violence and discrimination. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep breaking the silence.